you'll need to choose a primary app before continuing. The primary app is the app that you'll drive with the most. This app will always stay online unless you're on a current trip with the other app. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to choose Uber as our primary application. Moving the slider to the right will increase the time that the second app has started from the time the first app is originally launched. If you move it all the way to the right, you can eventually turn the secondary app off. However, if you move the slider to the left, you will decrease the time or turn the secondary app on at the same time the primary app is launched. Next, we'll move on to the request filters. You can choose which app you want to select the filters for, Uber or Lyft. Filters are based on services now. We'll start with the Uber app and set preferences for each of those services. Turning UberX on reveals the settings you can select for this particular service. The first setting reveals the acceptable time to the passenger pickup. This is how many minutes you're willing to drive out to pick up your passenger. Next, we have the acceptable passenger rating slider. This slider allows you to set the minimum rating for each passenger that you want Maestro to auto-accept. Turning it off will accept all passenger ratings. The next slider is acceptable surge. This is the minimum surge you wish Maestro to auto-accept runs for. Turning it off will accept all surge multipliers, including 0. Anytime a service's toggle switch is set to gray, that particular service is not available to receive automated ride requests through Maestro. Anytime a service is switched to blue, it gives you the opportunity to set particular filters for that service, as well as it means that you will accept ride requests through the Maestro app automatically. Now let's adjust some settings for Uber Pool. Let's go down to acceptable surge and put it at 2.0, and then we'll back out and leave it at that. Now let's have a look at Uber Eats. Let's adjust the time to passenger pickup to 4 minutes, and then we'll back out and leave the rest alone. Now let's toggle through each of the remaining services so you can see how you can easily access the settings for each service. We'll move on to Black, and now we'll move to SUV. It's that simple. Now that we're done setting our Uber filters, let's move over to Lyft and set some filters here. We'll start out with just our basic Lyft. As you can see, we have the same filters we had on the Uber side. We have acceptable time to passenger pickup, we have acceptable passenger rating, and we have acceptable surge. As you can see, it's exceptionally simple to move the slider around to set your desired preferences, and then back out and move on to the next set of settings. Let's move on to Lyft line now. As you see, we have the same filters, and over here we're going to adjust the surge to 2.0, and then we'll back out. And as you can see, next we have Shuttle. Let's back out of this. Now we'll move over to Premier. Now we can back out of this. We'll go into Plus, back out, Lux, back out, Lux SUV, back out, and we're done. It's important to remember that any services that don't have a highlighted blue toggle switch are services that will not be automatically accepted through the Maestro app. Now that we've finished setting our filters, let's toggle the switch from sleep over to active. At this point, the Maestro app will automatically launch either or both apps that you specified earlier. Your primary app will automatically be pulled to the front. Congratulations, you've successfully set up your Maestro app.